Hey guys, we're back and we're going to continue our exploration in linear perspective. We have gone over 1-point and 2-point perspective. We've also gone over creating 1-point perspective structures or boxes. We're starting with simple stuff, cubes. And I've shown you how to go inside to make it either transparent or an open front or open side box. So tonight I'm going to go over how to create a 2-point perspective structure with some openings in it on the left, the right, the top, wherever you want the opening to be. The same steps would apply to wherever you want the opening. So I'm going to show you a few different ones on this sheet right now. And I'm just basically going to use, which pencil do I want to use tonight? I'll use the B pencil. This is equivalent to a 1B, just a B on there. Here's the pencil grade right there. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Can you see it? There it is, right there. This is equivalent to a 1B pencil. You have an HB, you got a 1B, a 2B, 3B, 4B, and so forth. Again, the larger the number on the designation, the softer the pencil is. So we're going to use a 1B. It's kind of in the middle next to the HB, and you don't want to use too soft of a pencil when you're working with rulers, because once you start sliding the ruler around on the sheet and you have all your nice crisp lines, sometimes the ruler kind of smudges it a little bit. So I like to use the hardest of the B side because I do like to see my line. Most drafters and architects, they will use all H's because those pencils do not smear. I'm just a sketch artist, so I like to see my lines. So I'm going to go ahead and put in, and plus when I'm doing these tutorials for you, I need you to be able to see the line too. If I were using an H pencil, you probably wouldn't see that line so clear on the video. So to make sure that you guys can see it. Now we're going to work with 2-point perspective, interior boxes or open boxes or transparent boxes, whatever you want them to be. I'm going to show you the strategies to get lines of the inside of the box. So let's go with a vanishing point here and maybe one over here, and then we're going to start off with a single point. A single line. Remember, when you're drawing 2-point perspective, the corner of the structure faces you, not a square edge of the structure. The one corner of the structure needs to face you. It's going to look something like this. I'm going to go right below the line, and I'm doing a freehand just because I don't want to be restricted to what my ruler. Some people need a straight edge to get to where you need to, but I like to just go freehand just to sample. Freehand just so I can sample what I'm doing. I also turn my sheet a little bit so I can have a straight arm to it. You don't want to use your wrist to make your straight lines. You want to go straight from that shoulder right there, okay? You want to move from your shoulder to get your straight lines when you're going freehand. As straight as you can get them. We're not mechanical, so they might not be perfectly straight, but they're going to be pretty straight. Here's a straight edge on a piece of paper if you want to just take a little short piece of paper and not a really big ruler like this one. So I'm pretty straight, see? I do pretty good. Look at that. Okay, so now that we have our 2-point structure starting to develop, we're going to put in one of the side panels with a vertical and another side panel with another vertical. We have to have 2 sides when we're converging to 2 different vanishing points. These 2 panels, the right and the left, are converging to the left and the right vanishing points from the center corner, and this corner is facing us. Now, once you get these second 2 vertical lines in there, you go to the top of this structure here because we are below the eye level, below the horizon line, so we get to see what's on the top of this structure. So at the top, you're going to crisscross from one vanishing point over, from one of those verticals over to the opposite vanishing point. So you're just going to crisscross. And again, if you need a little straight edge help, that's fine. I'm just kind of doing it without the rulers in the way so you can see all of my movements. And then you close in your dotted lines here. So now you have a 2-point perspective structure below your eye level. 2-point perspective structure below the eye level. I'm going to put one on the horizon line, but when you create structures on a 2-point perspective scenario, you can't make a 2-point over here because there's not another point down there on this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another vanishing point down here anyway. And then I'm going to use these two and not these two and not these two. So I'm going to use these two because whatever structure you build in the 2-point perspective scenario, the vanishing points needs to be on the outside of the structure. So now I can put a single line right here. Okay, I'm going to cross over my, oh, we didn't go inside. We'll go inside in just a minute. I'm just going to make one more 2-point perspective box just in case you did this, just in case you missed the video before this one on 2-point perspective structures. So here again, go ahead and create your dotted line to your VP on the right, and then I'm going to go way over here, which now I have to put my little thing in here so I can get a nice light. Keep these lines nice and light too, because you don't want those to be too strong. We hyper improve the lines that we need to keep. So you want to make your guidelines really, really light. So just barely drag and barely touch the paper. So now I'm going to put a right here and a left. I'm just going to make it deep, a really deep structure like that. And then I'm going to fill in the lines that I want to keep. All right. And this one is crossing over the horizon line, and that makes it so that we can't see underneath it. We cannot see on top of it. This one right here, we can see on top of it because it's lower than our eye level. Now let's go ahead and get inside. So I have 2 different boxes, and this is good. This is perfect. I'm going to show you how to do it in 2 different, because it's kind of like, this one's kind of weird when you want to get inside of it. So I'm glad I did that one. So let's go ahead and get inside of this one first. And what I'm going to do is sharpen my red. I'm going to sharpen my red pencil, because I'm going to use this as a contrast for you guys to be able to see better. So always remember, there's already 3 vertical lines that describe these 3 corners that we can see. We cannot see the corner back here. We can't see inside of there yet. There's another corner interior line that needs to be here in a vertical orientation. Also, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 converging diagonals going to the vanishing point on this side, and then we have 1, 2, 3 going on that side. We need the 4th one to each one of those groups. So this way we're going to go, and this way we're going to go. So let's go ahead and start from this lower corner and this lower corner to the opposite, again, opposite vanishing point with a red line, and then to the opposing. And again, you want to make sure that these are nice and straight, because these angles have to intersect at the right spot in order for the box to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and use my straight edge this time. I just want to make sure everything is nice and straight. Okay. Now here's the intersection. This corner up here needs to drop down a vertical and meet it. It's a little bit off, mostly because I didn't use a straight edge to make this line right here, and it's kind of off just a little. I'm going to go ahead and test it. And can you see that little bit right here? That little bit threw me off. I'm going to go ahead and fix it. And I'm going to make that line nice and clean. I'm going to erase the part that is incorrect, like that and like that. So now, always use a brush too. This is a drafting brush. These are bomb. You got to get one of these, okay? Keep your surfaces nice and clean. You don't want to do this ever. You just want to do that. If you blow on it, you might spit on it, so don't do that. So get yourself a drafting brush, and then you'll be all good. Okay, so now this is my corner, and this is my intersection. It's a little bit still kind of off, but it's more straight than it's not. But if you use a ruler for the whole entire operation of the outside lines and the inside lines, then you're going to be more, you're going to be more successful. So now, can you see? Let me go here with the red one. Okay. So now we have this interior line going all the way through to the VP, crisscrossing with the right lower, going all the way through to the left VP. You have an intersection here. You drop down a line in a vertical orientation to that intersection, and it should be parallel to this vertical, this vertical, this vertical, and that vertical. You can decide which direction you want to go inside the box, this way or this way or this way, or you can make it a transparent box, whatever you want to do. I'm going to make it an open box. So what I'm going to do is get in here with my pencil and just trace over my red marks here like that. And now this is my outer lines. I like to make those a little bit thicker so that it communicates as the outer part of the box. So now check that out. I can go ahead and put in a little bit of value right here, maybe a little bit right here, and as I come out, it gets brighter, something like that. I like to do stuff. This is really fun for me to create. I'm going to tell you guys, once you get into linear perspective, you will be hooked because you can do everything. Everything that we have, that we use on our planet, it starts in a box. It starts with a geometric shape like this, and or maybe some elliptical forms that we're going to go over to. So now, this is my getting into the box in this direction. Okay. Now this one, I don't know which way I want to get into it yet, but I do need to establish my interior lines. So with the box on the horizon line, and we surely need to make sure that these lines are nice and straight. And I know I said you don't need to use your ruler, but sometimes you do. Let me fix this one because I see it being a little off already. Because once I get in there with those interior lines, I need everything to intersect where they need to be. Everything needs to intersect where they need to be. So I want to make sure my lines are nice and tight. Okay. Oops, don't use your hands. Nice, tight, well-formed lines. Okay, there we go. So now with my red pencil, we have 1, 2, 3, and there's a fourth vertical in the back that's hidden. We have 1, 2 of the diagonals going to this vanishing point. We need 2 more. We have 1, 2 of the diagonals going to this vanishing point. We need 2 more. So the 2 more that match these come from here and here. And they have to go to that vanishing point. Watch this. Just watch. Light lines. Keep them light. Keep them light. Keep them light. You don't want those to be too heavy. Put it on the corner over here. Keep them light. Drag that red line very lightly to the vanishing point. And then you come over here and you do the opposite to this vanishing point. My little straight edge is kind of short. So what I'm going to do is get my longer one now. Go to this corner and this corner, drag over to there. Very light, very light, very light, all the way over. Make sure it touches the dot. Go to the top corner over here. Very light, very light, very light. Go all the way to the dot. Okay. Now you should have 2 intersections, one here, and you should have one here if your outer box is well formed. It's a little bit off, you know, so you got to kind of fudge it when it gets off like that, or make sure your outer lines are nice and tight. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 verticals. Okay. And then we have to visualize the angle here and the angle there to support the base of the box. Okay, so now we have the base floor. We don't want to come over here because it's not a transparent. I'm doing opaque boxes where you can just see into the structure. Visualize your square plane up here that's in perspective. And then over here, because that one's going over there. Remember, from here to here, go there. Okay, from here to here, go there. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that are converging to this vanishing point. And I know it's probably hard for y'all to get it, but you guys will. You just have to practice and just remember the direction of everything that you need to do. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 verticals. Got that? Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonals going over here, converging lines. Okay? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are pointing over here. So you got to keep track of what you're doing, and just understand what a cube is. What a cube is. The straight lines of a cube. I wish I had a box here so I can show you. I need to get some transparent boxes. That will be a great way to show you what that looks like. So yeah, here we go, and here we go, and here we go, and here we go. And then the verticals are really easy. So I hope this helped you guys understand a little bit about. And when you see this posted on my Facebook and Instagram and you still need more help with this, definitely make comments, because all of these tutorials will be going on YouTube and then also uploaded onto my social media networks as well. You want to overlap some. You want to have fun with it. Stack some boxes on top. When you use color pencils, you may not be able to erase it. So you want to practice this with color pencils so you can keep track of your internal lines. When you get to drawing in a more permanent situation where you're not going to want to have red lines or blue lines or green lines in the way, you're going to want to use just the pencils. So definitely be aware of what you're doing as you are working with your linear perspective sampling. And I'll see you back at the next toot.